Hi, welcome to Frankie and Lola. We loved traveling in our motorhome so much that we sold our house and now live in the motorhome full time. We would love to have you follow along as we travel around the country exploring fun and interesting places.
We took many trips in the short bus. It was originally purchased for long weekends, but we kept traveling further from home and staying longer. And while all of our updates to the short bus were very effective and useful, we began to feel cramped, especially on rainy days when we had to stay inside. We made many changes to the short bus to make it fit us, and we had it perfectly dialed in. We knew every inch of that motorhome. Set up at a new site took less than 15 minutes.
The short bus was so short that it did not even have a couch. And our trips seemed to be getting longer until the original 4-day weekend use plan was clearly out the window. We needed a bigger bus. We took the bus here and there and started to wonder what it would be like to have a little bit more room.
We took it to the beach.
We took it to the mountains.
We took it to the desert.
We took it to the woods.
That's just a minefield over to the right there.
We even took it to Mom's house and camped in the cul-de-sac. We found out that we loved traveling in the short bus, but we wanted to take longer trips. The short bus was so much fun, and we had wonderful memories. We wanted more. It was clear that we were using the short bus for much longer trips than we expected when we bought it. Additional space and comfort were needed for longer trips. Quite specifically, a couch for days when we stayed inside.
I came home from work one day and told Frankie that I realized that I missed the motorhome when we were at the house, but I didn't miss the house when we were in the motorhome. Frankie has always considered the road his home. That's when the realization hit us that what we really wanted to do was go full-time.
If we were going to buy another motorhome, we knew we wanted to go big, because we only wanted to pay sales tax one more time. We started tossing around ideas of what type of RV to get next. After looking at a lot of different types, we decided to get a large Class A diesel, since it would become our home. So we made a plan and started the search for our home on the road.
Each of us made our lists of must-have, must-not-have, and would be nice to have, and compared our lists. We spent the next 2 years going to RV lots and walking through hundreds of motorhomes to get a feel for what we wanted.
Finally, it was down to 2 specific floor plans. The shower turned out to be the deciding factor. I need my space. I did some research and I learned what model years suited us best. It took several more months to find the right one in good enough shape for us to purchase.
Our perfect motorhome was located in Iowa near Des Moines. At the same time, that we were buying the big bus, we were trying to sell the short bus. I was very surprised that Frankie and the seller of our big motorhome were the only two people to ever keep their word in the entire process of selling one motorhome and buying another. The lessons were learned there.
We successfully bought the big motorhome long distance without a dealer. What a scramble that turned out to be.
The whole deal was dependent on our final inspection in person and test driving the big motorhome. I was so confident that it would work out that I packed bath towels, pillows, and bedding in space bags to put in my suitcases on the plane to Iowa. I also brought the Hula Girl bobblehead that coworkers gave me for the big bus.
After the purchase of the big bus, Lola had to fly home and go back to work. I would drive the newly purchased motorhome back to the house, but first, I took it to Winnebago to get some maintenance done on it.
When Frankie finally got home with the big bus, we parked it in the middle of the cul-de-sac, put down the jacks, and opened up the slides. Our neighbors all knew that we were getting a big bus and were looking forward to seeing what came home with us. The big bus had to be parked in the driveway for a few days because we had not yet sold the short bus, which was in storage along with the car trailer. The little beige Jeep was already sold back to my brother in Florida in preparation to go full-time. That meant that our storage unit was still full, and we had nowhere to store the new big bus.
Since our neighborhood rules didn't allow us to keep a motorhome in the driveway, our only option was to camp in it near the house until we got the short bus sold and the trailer sold. Everything that we had kept in the short bus was now put in the big bus, basically in one compartment. But we didn't really do much organizing since we knew we were going to sell the house.
The house stuff that we kept would have to be blended into what was already in the big bus. Finally, the trailer and the short bus were sold. Now we had to get the house sold. That was a little hard for me as I loved that house. I was also scared of not having a home base in case anything went wrong while we were living on the road.
The house was sold, and move-in day finally came. We thought moving into a new house was a lot of work. It was even harder to move into a motorhome full-time. The organization was much more work than either of us figured. You have to get very creative with storage.
We also discovered how much junk we really had. When you have a house, you don't always purge when you should. We ended up with 8 spatulas. Yes, 8. We did a lot of paring down, and we showered Goodwill with donations.
We got some good RV organizing tips from Today is Someday on YouTube. Organizing the pantry was the hardest part. We had a hard time deciding what pantry items we could do without. The spices were all definitely going with us. Lola got spice jars with labels on the top of the jars because she planned to put them in a drawer.
It took an entire day for me to sort, fill the new spice jars, and arrange the spice drawer. So much work was involved in downsizing from a large house to a motorhome. Even though the motorhome is big, it doesn't compare to the storage of a house. Eventually, everything found a place, and we're ready to take off as full-time RVers.
Goodbyes were said to family and friends, motorcycles were lashed down properly on the trailer, and the bus and the car were ready to go.
I was so excited. As I was driving out of the resort where we were staying, I frantically texted everyone to let them know that we were finally on our way.
We plan to visit Sandy Creek Corps of Engineers Park in East Texas as our last Texas stop on our journey north. It's one of our favorite parks, and we felt it would be a good send-off as we left Texas.
It felt strange and exhilarating and a little scary leaving home for the great unknown. After years of planning and rearranging our lives, we were finally on our way.
Stay tuned for our next episode, where we learn once again how the road can be a cruel mistress. But we're up to the challenge.